What's going on, everybody? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I don't even know why I have to make this video, other than I I can't even describe it properly. Is it incompetence? Is it people speaking about something they know absolutely nothing about? I don't even know properly which one it is, so we might as well just jump headfirst into it anyway. So, that analyst, the business analyst, the person who actually knows nothing about tech and has very limited knowledge about the gaming industry in general, Michael Pachter, has actually come out and predicted that Microsoft and Sony will be building next gen consoles that will be capable of pushing 4K resolution and 240 frames per second. I don't even know where to start about how the word escapes me for what is the proper one to use here. I can't just say how ludicrous this is, how ridiculous this is. It's just to the point of stupidity where it's absolutely inconceivable for this to happen. This would be like someone coming out and saying Monster Hunter World can run on Switch with the highest PC settings at 100 frames per second at even 1080p. It's just absolutely inconceivable that someone could believe something like this in any way, shape, or form unless they actually knew absolutely nothing about technology. The reason I say that is when you look at, let's take a look at the current gen consoles. We have the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. I'm using the advanced ones for obvious reasons. When you look at those, these are still very mediocre powered consoles. Okay, the Xbox One X has a decent GPU in it. It's certainly not a high-end GPU, but it's a decent GPU. It's okay. It's actual mid-range. By comparison, most of the other ones, like the base Xbox One, the PS4, and even to an extent, the PS4 Pro, are actually fairly low-end. But my point I'm trying to get at here is that these consoles, these current gen consoles, can do extremely little. Now, I realize that they're more limited by their CPU rather than their GPU, but I'm just talking overall, okay? So let's look at the Xbox One X GPU, because that's the current top-end GPU for consoles. That GPU is in no way, shape, or form, even if it was not held back by a CPU, pushing anywhere near triple-digit FPS. You might get it in very basic games, like, say, maybe CSGO, maybe even Overwatch. But other than that, it's just not happening. You are not getting an actual game. Even if it's not limited by CPU bottlenecks and whatnot, you are not getting a game with what you consider true current gen visuals, let alone next gen visuals. You are not getting anywhere near that at 100 frames per second, let alone 120 or 144 or even 240 frames per second. And this, of course, is all operating on the basis of 1080p. And if you don't know or you don't remember, let me give you a quick refresher. 1080p as a resolution is 1920 by 1080. 4K by comparison is exactly 4 times that resolution. You double it horizontally and you double it vertically, and you get a resolution of 3840 by 2160. And you're trying to tell me that console grade hardware, remember that, console grade hardware, stuff that's coming in at a very cheap price, not something that's selling for €1,000, not something that's selling for €1,500, or not something that's selling for €2,000. Something that's selling for 4 to 5, maybe at a stretch, even €600. You're trying to tell me these kinds of things, which can't even push 1080-60 with very slight minor upgrades in hardware, you're expecting them to push 4K 240? Get the fuck out of here. This guy is ridiculously incompetent. He should not talk about technology in any way, shape, or form, because this is just, it's scary movie / Spaceballs tier of absolute ridiculousness. Let me give you a better example, okay? Let's look at the PC hardware, where we can actually use proper, true, powerful hardware from CPUs and GPUs. You look at the current top-end gaming-focused GPU out there at the moment, which of course is the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, a graphics card alone, just the graphics card, that costs roughly 13 to 1500 euro, not including a powerful PC to go with it. But just for the GPU alone, 13 to 1500 euro on average. This is obviously the best card money can buy when it comes to consumer level gaming, and even a graphics card like this, paired with an absolute beast mode top of the line PC, cannot push that kind of resolution and that kind of frame rate at the same time. It can't even do it, let alone maxed out on PC current settings, because we all know they're light years ahead of console graphics. But forget the ultra settings, forget the maxed out for the moment. Even if you were to dial the graphics settings back of current generation games, even ones that are highly optimized, like Battlefield games lately, or even stuff like Doom from 2016, even if you were to dial back the settings on those games to current gen visuals, let alone what people will be expecting from the next gen, you would still not get 4K 240Hz. You could absolutely get 1080p 240Hz, or at least close to it, but there is no way in hell with even current gen console graphics settings you are getting even anywhere near that at 4K. This is absolute ludicrousness. The only way you can get that kind of resolution and frame rate at the same time is by running previous generation games. And I'm not talking previous generation games as in when we move to the 9th gen that you're running 8th generation games. No, I'm talking about using current top end late 2018/early 19 hardware and running games from the previous generation. I'm talking the 7th generation. Running games released in maybe 2012, 2010, 2006. I know personally, on my GTX 1080, not even a 2080 Ti, I can get a solid 300 frames per second, absolutely unwavered, super sampled at 4K on Half-Life 2. I can do the same thing on Deus Ex Human Revolution. Completely maxed out, 4K, locked 144 frames per second. But moving to more recent game, let's look at Doom 2016. Again, I'm using a 1080, and at 1440p, not 4K, with completely maxed out settings, I'm looking at 100 to 120 FPS. So with the likes of a 2080 Ti and doubling the resolution and the frame rate at the same time, it's just physically not possible. So no, fanboys, all of you out there with your stupid podcast and your stupid videos and your stupid comment sections and your stupid tweets, you people who promote this and actually believe this and say this is going to happen, you are some of the most ignorant people out there. And I'm saying ignorant as you are ignorant of technology, not in the sense that, oh, you're an ignorant cunt. You are ignorant about facts, you are ignorant about technology, and you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You are laughable, you deserve to be laughed at, you deserve to be made fun of. Please educate yourselves before speaking about a topic. That also goes for you, Michael Pachter. Because mark my words, when the next generation of consoles comes out, I've already predicted it multiple times, they're going to use, in my opinion, the Xbox One X GPU or the upgraded version or something slightly better than that. Because as I said, it's a decent console GPU. But these consoles as they stand at the moment are completely hamstrung and gimped by their absolutely laughable CPU. How Sony and Microsoft thought this was ever a possible use of the CPU is absolutely ridiculous. When the next gen hits, again, you're looking at an Xbox One X or slightly equivalent or newer GPU, and you're looking at what's probably an entry-level basic Ryzen chip. Even if it's first gen, the difference would actually be a true generational leap forward. 60 frames per second in most games will not be off the table like it is now, and you can guarantee it, mark my words right now. Next gen, when they use a proper CPU paired with these GPUs, they've been saying frame rate doesn't matter this entire time. I guarantee you when they can actually hit 60 frames per second, they will be advertising the shit out of it. They will be saying 60 frames per second always mattered. And just how important it is, despite them downplaying it over the last couple of generations when they can't actually do it. And yes, 60 frames per second, performance does matter. It's the most important thing in gaming. Performance is king. Anyway, let me know in the comments section below what you think about all these people talking about all this shit who clearly know absolutely nothing when it comes to technology and how it works. Now, I swear, if I see anyone say, oh, console optimization one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. So what do you think? What do you think with the next generation of consoles are we actually gonna see? Are we gonna see, say, 1080p 60? Are we gonna go 4K 27 FPS again? Might we hit 4K 60 with medium settings yet again? Because that seems to be all the rage these days. Fuck frame rate, am I right? Or what do you think? Do you think we're really gonna see 4K, 240 FPS? Oh, and remember, TVs don't support that properly. Monitors do, but not TVs. And do you think we're going to see all that with actual, true, next-gen graphics? If so, you should probably turn yourself into the nearest loony bin and ask them about a transorbital lobotomy. But anyway, let me know all that good stuff in the comments section below. Hit the appropriate button to let me know how I did on the video. While you're at it, why not head on over and hit that subscribe button? Let's get that number to at least 850 when we have a completely blind, no help, no hand-holding, Dank Souls 3 live stream event coming. And then a game room tour at 1000. Ring that little notification bell, although granted getting a notification from YouTube in current year about a new upload or live stream or whatnot is a whole other story. But hey, at least you can say you tried, am I right? As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.